We're talking the golf drill that keeps on working. T-peg, bottom of the golf club. How can this work? Well, this concept, it saved my chipping, that is for sure. So as you can see, we are back on our lockdown range 3.0, but don't worry, I've got you covered. Daily tips that if you are stuck at home as well and you can't get access to a golf course, then you can use these to improve your golf. But obviously, if you can get out to the golf course, you can definitely still use them too. Let's get to what this whole point of putting an elastic band and a T-peg on the bottom of my club is all about. So essentially, we're learning to activate this bounce. We're going to learn to allow ourselves to brush that ground, not dig for that golf ball and not scoop that golf ball too much, because we all know they are short game killers that were stood there going, what have I just done? What have I just done? And guys, like, look, I've been there. I know you have been there as well. That's why you're watching this video. So let's talk about how we're going to set it up. Really simple, elastic band. I've sort of wedged it in and around there to really get a good, well, allow that T-peg to sit directly on the same angle as my leading edge and the sole of my club. So let's briefly talk about this before we do it over there. We're looking to have the feeling of this T-peg as the club comes into the ground to brush into the ground and then start working up and around. Far too many golfers digging this T-peg too down on the way down, and then as a consequence, some of you golfers are actually stood there, then this T-peg is exiting very high very early. What I want you to feel is, and this again is sort of a concept you can work to in your head, as this club is coming down on its arc, we're looking for this arc to be a little bit flatter at the bottom, not up quickly, not down quickly, a little bit flatter and then up. That doesn't mean we're not hitting down on the golf ball, it's really meaning that we get a feeling of this bounce brushing the ground and working up, rather than up early and scooping or digging down and really steep. Honestly, I'm going to keep saying this, it works for me. Let's head over to the drill. There's been a question that has been on my mind for a few days. Golf Buddy have hooked me up with a laser and a golf watch. There could be a giveaway pending. Hit that thumbs up button if you want me to give away some of these products. Killer, absolute killer products, by the way. But the question that got in my mind is, should you have a watch or should you use a laser? Hit those comments down below. What would you prefer in your golf game? Watch or a laser? I'm a little bit in between right now. Obviously, the dream is to have both, but it's probably, no, it's hard to, isn't it? Let's be realistic. Comment down below. What would you prefer? Watch or laser? So what I want you to feel for this drill is, I want you to make a few practice swings, allowing that club just to sit flush onto the ground with the T-peg pointing towards target. Wait a little bit left, nice narrow stance. I want you to make some practice swings, just allowing that T-peg to brush that ground. So literally just to make contact with it through. And I want you to go back to this analogy of allowing this club to work lower for longer on the way through. It's not up and T-peg pointing high early, and it's not getting the T-peg to hammer into the ground, to almost like a pitchfork going into the ground. We don't want that to happen. We need to stand there, practice to getting the T-peg just to brush the ground. And by the way, it's hard. It will take a few minutes just to get this right, but have a look at this close up. This is what we're looking for. We're not looking for that T-peg to go high early. We're not looking for it to go down into the ground. We're really looking to go right back, brush through, back, brush through. And you can see here how I'm allowing the bounce to do the work. I'm really allowing my body to pivot and turn around myself. You know how I would bring this into your game? I would stand there, one club set up with the T-peg, because otherwise it's keep taking it on and off. Second golf club we're going to put down on the ground and get used to feeling that analogy. And all I want you to picture is not making contact with the golf ball. Picture the sole of your club with a T-peg on and getting that to interact with the ground. I can 100% promise you that strike will come out the middle more than it doesn't. Well, obviously, I'd love for you to turn around and go to, yeah, well, of course it'll happen all the time. But all we need to think about is, we can get up and down. Not every time, 70, 60% of the time, we're going to change our scores. That's going to be up to like PGA Tour average. That's pretty damn good. And how I think about it and how I tell all my clients is, if you can give yourself an opportunity to have a putt for your save, whether it's a par, bogey, or make a birdie on a par 5, then that's all we're really trying to do. So I would place this golf club just back in the bag, grab another wedge out of there, stand in here now, get a feeling. Just think about the tee peg on the ground. Think about the tee peg. Don't think about too much of the swing mechanics. Think about your implement. Think about your implement. That's all I want you to do. Get used to chipping these away. So I said to you, if you've got a net at home, how can you make the most of this? Well, as I hit that chip there, that chip sort of went into this area here, right? We saw it on the screen. I want you to almost think, every time you hit a chip, I've got my 50 right here, you could have a pitching wedge, you could have your sand wedge. Probably don't go lob wedge, that's all I would say, because your neighbours may get upset. I want you to almost feel as though you're chipping this golf ball through the same window of opportunity. That same window of opportunity will mean we're delivering a consistent loft, dynamic loft if you want to get technical with it, what loft the club has an impact. We're delivering a consistent loft, a consistent angle of attack that's slightly down and feeling as though it's brushing the ground for longer. It's not steep and it's not scoopy early. We're in, through, look for that consistent window of opportunity. Boom! That is my short game tips that keeps on working for you. This is why it keeps on working. It's something you can picture out on the golf course. Okay guys, well thank you so much for joining me today. That is Short Game Saturday, brought to you with a tee peg, elastic band and your golf club. Hell of a tip, ain't it? One hell of a tip. Thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget, smash that big red subscribe button. That's that one down there. This is definitely going to keep on giving you your best short game chips.